Hello and welcome back to the channel. We're heading out. It is mosquito season, so I will not be dilly-dallying. They are out in force. My poor dog was outside for a few minutes yesterday and he looked like he had been attacked by a bee colony. Come here, buddy. Okay, let's get you in the car. Alright, good boy. Alright. Looks like we picked up a couple extras. So today we are off to Kentvale Home Hardware to pick up some plumbing supplies to fix a leak, or a break rather, in the lake intake pump system. So I'll take you for the ride. Just about here. Kentvale is a store with a long history on its shoulders since 1888. Family owned the entire time. And it's definitely out in farming country here on where I live. Very busy place. Wealth of information when you go to talk to staff about any type of project. They're like an encyclopedia, or Wikipedia, I guess, in today's terms. Always changing, always expanding. And let's see about parking here without running anybody over. Alright, I do not have permission to film here, so I will not be doing so, but I'll be back. So what I have at my place is I have a well, and I also have a lake pump. The lake pump is basically for watering the lawn, the garden, using the sauna, stuff like that. Or if I'm using like a lot of water for pressure washing the deck, because the well doesn't really care for huge amounts of water being drawn out of it, and eventually you'll overpower the natural refill rate of the well and the pump will run dry, which isn't good for the pump. And it takes a long time to catch back up. So on my lake system here, I have a number of branches. I have a branch that goes to my sauna. I have a branch that goes up to the house that branches off to different hose bibs up by the house, by the garden, things like that. And I put the line in this year and everything was working fine. And then one day the pump was running non-stop. And I just assumed that I lost prime in the suction line. But that wasn't the case. What happened was a break in the line. So I switched over to an action cam instead, a little easier to control the camera pointing. The Osmo Pocket is great for talking to camera, but if you're trying to film something specific, that gimbal does not always want to go where you want it. And I had so much trouble trying to show you guys the problems with the plumbing, but this will make things easier. One of the things about having a big yard is when you forget something, or if you're going back and forth between the lake and the garage, you get your steps in, that's for sure. But it is an absolute gorgeous day here. But those mosquitoes, where the wind doesn't catch you, they'll eat you alive. All right, here we go. So I'll try and explain this again here. These hoses were connected with this plastic union, and I had these pipe clamps on to secure them, but for some reason this one let go, and I have no idea why, but I'm going to put these back together. I'm not sure if I can show that to you or not, because the ground here is so uneven and there's no real place to set up this mini tripod on the action cam, so you might have to take my word for it. Okay, so this has been put back together. I put on an extra pipe clamp as well for reinforcement, and I made sure the pipe clamp on the other end is nice and snug as well. Let's go to the other end and repair that fitting as well. The line we're working on supplies water over to the sauna and allows me to fill my buckets. Also, with my fire pit here, it allows me to fill up buckets to put the fire out after a nice campfire. I love you. Okay. So I have to turn the pump off and let the water run out. Here we are back at the Union. Pump is pressurized, apparently not leaking. Going over to the sauna. Woohoo! So what I intended to do here was take that out and replace it with a new fitting and a new, basically a new fitting that this pipe would clamp onto, but that was seized. Galvanized fittings, they rust over time. They're fine for outdoor exposed plumbing. You never want galvanized pipes or fittings in your house, but outdoors it's fine. They're relatively cheap. And I was kind of at the mercy what the hardware store had when I built this. I had leftover 1.25 inch intake pipe that I wasn't using, as opposed to buying brand new 3/4 inch pipe. And it's a long run. It saved me a lot of money, but I had to get a fitting to go from 3/4 to 1.25 inch. And they had some plastic, they had some galvanized mishmash put together for me. And I cannot, even with that pipe wrench and the sharp, you can see that it just destroyed the plastic. That fitting was not coming apart, but it's working. Nothing appears to be leaking. It's nice and dry underneath. And, excuse me. It seems to be nice and dry underneath, so I'll just keep an eye on it over the weekend. And, yeah, it seems to be just fine. The plumbing repair went way quicker than expected, and it's a gorgeous day, so I've been out doing weed whacking, along edge trimming, that sort of thing. And I have a brand new Radley lithium ion double 20-volt lithium ion battery weed whacker. I picked it up at Home Hardware for around 150 bucks. It's so much easier than the big gas-powered one I have. It's a lot lighter too, and just easier to maneuver, easier on my back. So I'm really liking it. And it's, yes, it doesn't have the same power, I admit. But at the same time, I'm not covered head to toe in grass. So there is that benefit. but definitely like it. I think I'm going to light the sauna before I continue with my chores so I can enjoy a sauna and a swim today. Hey everybody, it's now around supper time. I had success with my projects today, then had a wonderful afternoon sauna and swims in the lake. The water isn't ice but chilling, skin biting cold anymore. It's actually quite nice to swim in. The wind you may hear whipping around me is keeping the mosquitoes at a tolerable level. And it's just a gorgeous day. It's 20 degrees Celsius, about 70 Fahrenheit. And I'm just feeling very, very blessed to be able to live out where I do here at Cedar Meadow. Not that I don't work my ass off to pay the bills and all that, and put in a lot of effort to live here, but at the same time, days like this, when it's not a work day and you're able to be at home and enjoy weather like this and scenery like this, it's just makes me feel blessed and grateful, special in a way, because not everyone can do this, but I'm happy to share. That's why I create these videos. The channel has changed its name a few times over the years, but the focus these days is Tom's Life After 50. It used to be Tom's View Photography and Adventures, and yes, there still will be photography, there still will be adventures, but I'll be turning 53 this year, and I've realized, even if I by some miracle make it to 100, I'm past halfway, and that leads to a certain amount of introspection on the second half, if you will. And I'm okay with it. I've done a lot in my life that I'm proud of, and I've learned from my mistakes and things I'm not so proud of. It's I just want to make sure that the second half is at least as good, if not better, than the first half. Because now, time is a little more precious. Have to be a little more careful with things like injuries, for example, take a lot longer to heal than when you were 20. And I know, I was having some struggles with tendons when I started working out again a couple years ago. And an injured tendon meant 9 months or more of trying not to aggravate it before it finally got better. And that's with physio, that's with shockwave therapy, that's with supplements and medications to try and help it along. So I find that I've become a little more cautious and definitely a lot more purposeful in what I choose to do, how I choose to spend my time. And I think that's a natural progression. I don't think it's just me doing this in my 50s. I'm sure a lot of people, as they are getting closer and closer to retirement age, have similar thoughts, concerns, convictions that change. And part of what I like to do is to share that. I have a podcast called Out Here, Finding Fulfillment After 50. You can find me on Substack, Tom's Life After50.substack.com. You can find my writings there. And I have my website, tomsview.ca, tomsview.ca. It has the podcast, it has my photography, it has my blog, and it's available to anyone that cares to check it out. For just for a laugh, I logged into my Squarespace site just to check the analytics, and apparently, again, for reasons I cannot fathom, people from South America, Chile, and Argentina are looking at what I do. I know the hits from China and Pakistan are likely more like data centers and web crawlers and things like that that don't really count as true views. But yeah, as well as a certain amount from the UK, Europe, United States. Very few from my own country. Hey, maybe they don't find Canada that interesting because they're in Canada. But so tonight I am gearing up to sit down and watch a movie virtually with my son out on the East Coast. Shout out to Brennan if you're watching. We typically pick out an older movie. We get together on Facebook video chat, and we sync up our movies. We watch them together, and typically share some conversation a little bit during, but mostly after the movie. Oh, I see what happened here. Something I always look forward to here. This old tree kind of crushed down on this branch of another tree that's blocking the road. Just there, that's almost done. If I tried that this morning, I would have been eaten alive by mosquitoes, but thankfully the wind has taken care of that. There's one. Hey, just to prove me wrong. Yeah, but it's something we do every once in a while. It's one way to stay in touch, because it's not easy to get out to the East Coast, and it's not easy for him to get here, and it's certainly not inexpensive, no matter whether you drive or fly. Or it's not even really any bus service that goes out there. We checked that out at one point out of desperation. I think I will wrap up today's video here. I really just wanted to get in the habit of trying to make some content for you guys again, because I've really was rather lax, shall we say, in that even with the podcast, I want to do an episode every 2 weeks, and the last episode was March 22nd. And the most recent one is last Sunday. So that was quite the gap. But at any rate, thank you so much for watching. This has been Tom for Tom's Life After 50. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, share with your friends. And if you have any comments or questions you'd like me to look at, leave them down below. Peace out.